I think South Africa is where I was born and where I got my where I built my character, but Australia is home. I feel welcome here. I feel safe here. Um, and I feel privileged to be here. And but at the same time, I was accepted from the day that I arrived. So I feel more Australian. I also don't have a South African passport anymore. So yes, I'm Aussie, I guess.
I'm Dr. Chamonix Blanche, ex-corporate and academical turned CEO and board member of several companies and mother of 4 little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Chamonix TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with 4 little kids here in Down Under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Lize. Thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from sunny Sunshine Coast. How have you been?
Very well, thank you, and thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. I love having people from the Sunshine Coast because I am, in a way, a little bit jealous. It is such a beautiful place. How long have you guys been in the sunny coast for?
We moved straight from South Africa to the Sunshine Coast. We've been here 8 years. And as the saying goes, beautiful every day, perfect the next. So it's wonderful being here.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that one. I think that's the Queensland government that used that saying, isn't it, to advertise
It's
sunshine.
pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah. It's gorgeous. So, okay, 2013, you guys came over. And on what visa did you come, Lize?
I'm on the 189 skilled independent visa. I am a qualified high school teacher, so we came on my skills. Yes, it took us about 9 months to get the visa. Initially, we appointed an agent. The agent did nothing for quite a few months, and then eventually my husband just lost patience and he started doing it himself, and he fired the agent. So from the time that he started doing himself until the visa was granted was 6 months.
Wow.
And then we left the country in 3 months after that. So yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it actually then happened really quickly because 6 months is a fast turnaround for a visa.
Yes.
And
yes.
So you applied for the PR visa first and then jobs after, is that right?
Yes. Well, we arrived in Australia with no family, no friends, no job, no home, no school, no nothing, no money or very little money. And then we were here for about a month, 6 weeks, when my husband miraculously found a job and he started working. I couldn't find a job for over a year. So I decided to do some further studies. And after completing that study, it was just a short course. But after that course, I managed to secure a job that I had for 7 years. Unfortunately, COVID took that job from me now. I used to teach English to foreigners, and there are very few foreigners in Australia. So at the moment, I'm job hunting.
Tell me about your experience working in Australia versus working in South Africa. I know it's not the same because you were a high school teacher there and here it was a college, which is a little bit different, but how was the culture? Any differences for you?
Oh, yes. First thing is you have to be humble, 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 humble. You can't walk in and say, here I am, I'm going to change your business and show you how it works. be very frustrating for South Africans because we call a spade generally. So you do have to adapt. You have to, in many cases, start at the bottom and just work your way up eventually. We do work hard. Generally speaking, South Africans are hard workers, where Australians would insist on a sick day every now and again, just for mental health reasons, which we would never consider. For example, that was quite interesting. What else? I've made my best friend at work. We've been friends now since I started working there, and even though we don't work together anymore, we see each other quite often. So there's that, and there's that social aspect and learning this little nuances that you won't be able to ask in general conversation. So I've learned how to interpret a lot of the Aussie slang, for example, by working with other Australians and also asking about culture, because there I can say, what do you mean? Why do you do this? Why is it like this? And I think that is what we're supposed to be when we move into countries, be open to learn from the whole experience and to get the most out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, that's why you're stepping into another country. It's not South Africa in Australia, it's Australia in Australia. So, you've got to adapt to the Aussie way. Otherwise, you might as well go back to South Africa. That's the way I see it.
And I think many South Africans think, oh, Australia is so lucky to have me. And no, we have to realize that they have the choice of the pick of the crop. They can choose anyone, they can have anyone. So you have to come in here with humility and be able to adapt to the environment, not adapt the environment to you. And I think that is how you quickly assimilate yourself into this society instead of trying to create South Africa in Australia, which is just, it's not going to happen. It's two completely different countries.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your daughter. You only have one child?
Yes, I do, which is a problem with Centrelink because we don't qualify for anything because we don't have a string of children. But anyway, which is another thing that's interesting to get used to, is that the government actually helps you financially if you're in a tight spot. But anyway, yes, my daughter was 5 when we arrived. She was 10 days too old to be in prep, but prep is like grade 0 here in Australia. And we managed to convince the principal to keep her in prep because we arrived in April, which was already the second term for the year. I'm so glad I did it because it gave her a chance to assimilate well. She does very well now. She gets academic awards. She plays volleyball for the school. She's very excited about that. She's not really sporty, but all of a sudden she started playing volleyball for the school, and they played the first match on Friday and won. So now
yay.
Yes. She's a bit of a loner, being an only child, so she doesn't like meeting other people and socializing. She's got a core group of friends and she loves spending time with them. She does enjoy exploring like we do. My husband and I spend, whenever we have a free time, we jump in the car and we drive around. And that's one of the freedoms of Australia, is wherever you drive, you are safe, which is something that was hard for me in South Africa because we would go on holiday to the south coast in Durban area or Amanzimtoti, and then get in the car and try and explore the area and end up in not so kosher areas, if you know what I mean, where you were scared for your life. Whereas here, no matter where we go, I'm not scared to go anywhere. And I know, thank goodness for GPSs, because if all else fails, I just press go home and it will take me home. But we really do. Like I said, we've been on the Sunshine Coast for 8 years. And when we speak to other people who have lived here sometimes all their lives, we have actually seen and explored more than they have, because when you live in an area, you don't think it's necessary to always see what's around, but we do. So now there's very little of the Sunshine Coast that we haven't yet experienced. I would say all the expensive things we haven't experienced. We've done all the free things.
Okay, so you said you worked in Noosa. Do you live near Noosa then?
Yes, I used to work in Noosa, and we were we lived in Perugian Springs, which is about 20 minutes south of Noosa, for 7 years. And last year, January, we were blessed to move into our own home that we built here on the Sunshine Coast. We live in Burnside, which is a suburb of Nambour. It is one of the more affordable areas on the Sunshine Coast.
So do you feel like you're South African now or Australian?
I'm Australian.
Okay, and then the next question is, do you support the Wallabies or the Springboks?
I don't support rugby.
That's the safe way.
So let's be honest. My husband also, we're not into sports, but when it was the World Cup rugby final, we joined some other South Africans at a restaurant nearby and screamed our heads off and cheered and had some fun. But that's not an issue for me. I think South Africa is where I was born and where I got where I built my character. But Australia is home. I feel welcome here. I feel safe here. And I feel privileged to be here. But at the same time, I was accepted from the day that I arrived. So I feel more Australian. I also don't have a South African passport anymore. So yes, I'm Aussie, I guess.
And tell me a little bit about your husband's job. You said he got a job before you got one. Yes. What is his industry that he works in, Lize?
Okay, so he was into development. He's a web developer. He did that. Well, we've had lots of roller coaster rides. It's not the land of plenty. You're not going to arrive here and immediately walk into a job. I think it's very important for people to know that. If you can come to Australia with a job secured already, that makes life a lot easier. So my husband has worked for a few different companies over the years. He has finally found a job, although he keeps saying he hates working with computers. But anyway, it pays the bills. So he found a job now, and he actually works with a whole bunch of South Africans for a company that actually started in South Africa. So that's quite interesting. On the Sunshine Coast, he does front-end web development. Yes. And then some languages. I don't know. I don't even know all the languages that he
So does he work from the office or from home now, mostly?
No, during COVID, he had to work from home. He dislikes it tremendously. He needs people around him. He needs that social interaction. His office is 20 minutes from here, so that's very convenient. And he likes the people he works with, and the company actually looks after him. At the end of the year, we go on a weekend away with the company, and they pay for all the family to go together on a little break. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah, wow.
So they do reward their employees, which is really nice, and he gets positive feedback if he does his job well, which is nice. And also working with South Africans, the culture is similar, but luckily, in my opinion, they have some British and some Aussies as well that they work with, so they can get the full experience. I do think if you move, you should not isolate yourself. Yes, it's a whole different world. It's a lot to be grateful for, to be honest.
Absolutely. And you go to bed at night and you're at peace. You don't have to worry and distress. Thank you again. I do appreciate you sharing how things have worked out for you guys and how you've settled in. And just, as you say, if it's worth it, you got to put in the effort and it'll take some time. Otherwise, everybody would just be doing it. And then Australia wouldn't be what it is now, because then we would just be flooded with people who don't appreciate and make the effort to come into a country where rules do actually apply. And a lot of South Africans complain about the red tape, but that's why we're here, because
it's
being adhered to.
If you don't like rules, don't come. If you like rules, you're going to love it here.
Oh, Lize, it's been so much fun talking to you. Thanks for being with us today, and good luck with that job hunting. I am sure you will find something. Before you know it, you'll be working again. You're like, I wish I had spent a little bit more time doing my scrapbooking.
I hope so. I hope that sooner rather than later.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. See ya.
It's my pleasure. Bye.
All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.